In this video, we present neural rays for occlusion-aware image-based rendering. We want to solve the novel view synthesis task, which is also called NVS for short. The NVS can be described as follows. Given a set of input sparse views with known camera poses, our target is to render images from arbitrary unseen poses. Recent neural scene representations, such as NERV, have achieved impressive improvement on the NVS task. However, since these neural scene representations learn a scene-specific neural network, these methods all require an excessively long training time on each scene separately, which usually takes more than 10 hours on a single scene for good rendering quality. Recent works like IBRNet, Stereo Radiance Field, and Pixel NERV use stereo matching to build rendering frameworks that can generalize to unseen scenes. For example, in Figure A, these methods check the local feature consistency of two input views to find a surface for rendering. However, when occlusions occur in Figure B, they suffer from view inconsistency, so that are unable to correctly identify the surface. Even the points that cause the occlusion are previously rendered points. Thus, obvious artifacts may occur when there are severe occlusions. Our goal is to design a neural representation with two following characteristics. First, comparing with neural scene representations like NERV, our model is able to generalize to unseen scenes with satisfactory rendering quality, and only fine-tune few steps on a specific scene for photorealistic rendering quality. Second, comparing with stereo matching-based methods like IBRNet, our model is able to correctly account for self-occlusions. Thus, our model is able to achieve much better rendering quality, especially on objects with complex structures and severe self-occlusions. Our key idea is to represent a scene by rays emitting from all input views. In the following, input views are called reference views, and these rays emitted from reference views are called reference rays. On every reference ray, we associate a trainable feature vector that encodes the visibility of this ray. Then, by checking the visibility of all related reference rays, we can compute the color of a pixel on the query view using two methods, which are called direct rendering and network rendering. Since the visibility of reference rays is highly related to the depth of this reference view, we can initialize all trainable feature vectors from the depth estimated by an external MVS algorithm like ColMap. With initialized feature vectors, our neural ray representation can be directly constructed on an unseen scene with a single forward pass of all shared networks, and directly be used for rendering. After the initialization, neural ray representation can be fine-tuned on a specific scene. Such fine-tuning is achieved by selecting a reference view as a query view and using other reference views as working views to render the selected query view. During fine-tuning, neural ray representation provides a memorization mechanism to account for occlusions in the scene. Here we provide a diagram to illustrate the memorization mechanism. In Figure A, we use view BCD to render view A, and the surface location is memorized as visibility and feature vector on view A. Then, in Figure B, when rendering view D using view ABC, the memorized visibility on view A will make our model be aware of the occlusion. Thus, our model will overcome the view inconsistency between view A and view BC. It will correctly find a surface location to render view D. Furthermore, since view D is also a reference view, the predicted surface will also be memorized on its visibility feature vectors. Such a memorization mechanism improves the rendering quality and enables fine-tuning to refine the representation better and better. In the following, we show results in the generalization setting. In the generalization setting, the model is trained on some training scenes and directly applied to unseen scenes for image synthesis. In the following, we show results in the fine-tuning setting. In fine-tuning setting, the model is first initialized from the model in the generalization setting. Then, the initialized model is further trained on a specific test scene for few steps. Note nerve can only be trained from scratch. In the following, we show our final results, which are trained on every scene for 200,000 steps in the fine-tuning setting. Thanks for watching.